From the 1970s, Gerry Marshall was a shining star of the British club racing scene, entertaining the crowds in a series of ever more outrageous Vauxhalls. Old Mail, Big Bertha and Baby Bertha, he made his name as a crowd pleaser. He took an amazing 625 race wins and always lived life to the full. His son Gregor, racing here at Goodwood this weekend, remembers his dad fondly.
He was definitely a larger-than-life character. He was probably my best friend, probably not always there as a father because he was always away motor racing, but I wouldn't have changed that because he wouldn't be the person that he became and that he was. And yeah, he just loved motor racing, that's what he lived for.
Now the Gerry Marshall race has got all 4 house captains racing in it, so I want to hear from them if they've got anything in store to score some extra points.
Been a bit up and down. We were leading when I left last night, and then this morning I came back and found we were last. So I think there must have been a few bar games going on that were getting them some extra points. But so it's been good though. I've enjoyed it.
Right now, or half an hour ago, we were P4 on the scoring board. I'm not saying last, but P4.
Well, I'm a little bit out of breath because I've just come out of the driver's briefing and then rushed over to the tug of war, supervised another win for House Methuen.
Be a close second. We're working hard to make it number 1.
It's been a jolly good day and everything is jolly spiffing here.
This really should be the highlight of this members' meeting, although we've already lost one of the house captains. Andy Prio is out. His BMW has refused to start. 45-minute race and mandatory pit stops. They start as they finished yesterday. Chris Ward on pole in the Rover from Emanuele Pirro in the red Capri, who makes a great start.
Teammate Camaro, one of the RX7s, very slow.
Quickly up into 4th place is Paul Pocciol's white Capri. Lots of smoke from the Belga Capri of Pierre-Alain Thibault. He drifts out wide and that leaves the door open for the Camaro to come through. Stuart Graham in the car he raced back in 1972 is going to make the move through into 4th. Bellowing Chevy V8 right up behind the Mini now. 1275cc versus 5.7 litres. The Capri's sliding and smoking behind. And now a change for the lead. Chris Ward goes the long way around the outside on the Lavant Straight. Will Pirro have the brakes to hold him off at the end of it as they get to Woodcote? Ward's got the inside line in the Rover, and through he goes. The Camaro now right with them. Leaders through the legendary Goodwood chicane. Towards the tail of this group, 13th place is the gold and black BMW of house captain Jochen Mass, looking to score points for Darnley. Further back, this is Tim Morley. Dolomite Sprint he shares with Anthony Reed's picked up a broken windscreen. That's going to be bad news for the head of Methuen House, although Tim Morley doesn't seem to be slowing down too much at the moment. Alfa Romeo there, Rupert Keegan at the back of this battle. And on board in the Dolomite, this has got to be a stray stone somewhere. Oh, there's a moment for the driver. Luckily, the whole thing collapses in a few seconds. Lead battle is Chris Ward being caught by Stuart Graham, and the period liveries on these cars very important, even down to the championship sponsor of the era on Stuart's Camaro there. Everybody gone to great lengths to make these cars look as well as sound the part, and Stuart Graham goes right around the outside. Famously the winner of the Tourist Trophy on 2 wheels as well as 4. Jochen Mass in the 2002 Ti BMW. Closing in on the Triple X Rover. Tony Scott Andrews and Oliver Gavin racing that one. Mass has got a really good run here on a high-speed section, straight through on the inside. More house points racked up. Former British Touring Car champion Rob Gravitt returns from retirement and heads into retirement in his Dolomite Sprint. It's like a mechanical problem in that Works livery car. And here is a BL battle. Tiffany Dell in the Daily Express Rover versus Nick Swift in the Patrick Motors Mini 1275. Richard Longman winning the championship in a car like that. Patrick Watts blasts out of the pit in his Mazda RX-7 as in comes Jochen Mass to hand over to Simon Diffie. And that is Emanuele Pirro in from third place to hand over to his co-driver John Young in the 3-litre Capri. Pirro, the Tor Bolton house captain. Out comes the Darnley house captain's car. Simon Diffie at the wheel now of the BMW, started by Jochen Mass. And there is our race leader, Stuart Graham, enjoying himself too much, comes into the pit lane, but the sign says pit lane closed. He has a bit of a moment of panic. What's he going to do? Decides to carry on round, but he is going to have to hand over at some stage to co-driver Nigel Garrett if he doesn't put it in the pit wall. And he has cost himself a lot of time there, and there's bound to be a penalty because the pit window has closed. That is going to open up a fascinating battle for victory between the Rover and the Capri. How period is this? Andrew Smith ahead of John Young. Young in the Gordon Spice racing car, red number 8. Andrew Smith, Patrick Motor Group, had a very successful career in a number of different cars in the British Touring Car Championship. And this echoes that. Emanuele Pirro cheering on teammates in the Tor Bolton house. House challenge, points being earned on track as well as off it. 100 for a win could be the deciding factor perhaps in sorting out the final positions. Confirmation of the drive-through penalty for the Camaro. What a big sideways moment from the lurid Capri. And that has certainly helped the Rover. John Young having a big moment in St Mary's and now trying to get around the Hermitite Capri, struggling to find the speed he needs. And those 2 or 3 car lengths that Andrew Smith has just gained in the Patrick Motorsport Rover could be decisive. Camaro of Nigel Garrett rejoining after the drive-through penalty that has certainly cost them a chance to win this race. Out of the Goodwood chicane for the final time, it is going to be victory for Andrew Smith ahead of the Capri of John Young. The Rover wins part 2 of the Gerry Marshall Trophy as it did part 1. What a great race. Well, the pit stop mix-up costing the Camaro crew a chance of victory. Big points for the Darnley house, though, but what about Tor Bolton's Emanuele Pirro in second place?
I think we did the best we could, and I think we really enjoyed it. I was just wondering whether the winners are in my house. You never know, you know. Which house are you?
Good question. Not yours.
Okay, the winners are disqualified because they don't know which house they belong.
I got some really useful points. I think we finished 9th. Not bad from the back of the grid. Great fun. The most dramatic thing is on the first lap, my teammate was driving and he lost the front windscreen. I only had an open face helmet, so I had to rush off to the Goodwood Racing School and borrow one of their, lids. I'm delighted to have now, got some laps under my belt because yesterday I think I only did 1 lap. So we've scored some useful points for Matthew.
When all the points from the various on and off-track competitions were added up, it was clear that Anthony Reid had led the members